Welcome to the TOCA Backstage podcast. Join TOCA's Executive Director, Chris Wolf, in conversations with the artists and people behind the scenes of the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation's performances and events.
Hi, it's Chris Wolf, back again with another edition of TOCA Backstage. It is my honor to have two of the trio from Honey Whiskey Trio. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Of course, happy to be here.
I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, if you would, and please tell us your name and your portion of the band.
You want to go first?
Sure. My name is Louise. I am the guitar player. Well, one of them, because Courtney also plays guitar. And yeah, I was the last member to join, but happy to be a part of it.
Yay. I'm Courtney. Like Ann said, I am playing guitar a little bit now with the group and a little mandolin.
Awesome. So I'm curious, and I'm always curious about this when you get a group of three people together. How did you guys meet and decide that this is the group that you wanted to form?
Courtney, take it away.
Ooh, okay. So we all went through the vocal jazz program at Cal State Long Beach at different times. I was there first doing my master's, and then as I was finishing, Christina was coming in, and then Christina and Anne overlapped a little bit. So we've all kind of, we had the same foundation, so we approach music in a very similar way. I was out of school and I kind of had started arranging and was thinking for the first time that it would be fun to kind of put a group together maybe, but didn't have a clear vision. And I thought of Christina because in what I had experienced with how they engaged in music, I just felt like we might connect a little bit. And so we got together and sang, and it felt good, and thought that we needed a third person. And Christina immediately thought of Louise. So I met Louise for the first time at our first rehearsal at Anne's house. Christina was
late. So it was just us, and we're like, we're a band, I guess.
Hi. Yeah. But at least for me, and we've all talked about it a lot, there's no greater joy for me than making music with these two, because it feels like we really listen to each other, and we find like the making music together to be the most important part. So we're not coming in saying, this is how I sing, this is how I do it, and being rigid. We're very, very flexible, always listening. And it's so much fun. It's made my standards so high because I expect making music with anyone else to feel this good. And it's made me realize that it's a very special thing that not everyone gets to find people that they're that musically compatible with.
So, Anne, being the last one, as you said, to join the group, was it awkward for you? Or since it was just the first rehearsal, what was the approach given to you? As like, hey, do you want to join this group?
Basically, yeah, I had worked with Christina. I think we overlapped school for a couple years, and we were in the vocal jazz ensemble together for 1 year. And Christina just always had such a wonderful reputation of being, like so fun, first of all, but also really hardworking and a great musician. And I still remember where I was on campus. Like, I was walking to the music department, and Christina called me. By this time I was a senior, and I think I was in my last semester. And Christina was just like, hey, I got together with Courtney, and there's some arrangements, and I thought of you when we thought about having a third voice. Would you like to try to make some music? And yeah, I was just like, oh, absolutely. Because I just knew that, if Christina was like game to do it, I really wanted to try it. And yeah, and then our first rehearsal, I mean, Courtney is always such a warm person, and there's always like that initial kind of nervousness when you meet someone new, but we hit it off pretty much immediately, and her arrangements were so solid, and it just felt like, even though I was the last person involved, it felt like we each had just like our parts figured out. Like her arrangement already had everything laid out for the three of us perfectly. And yeah, to kind of echo what Courtney said, it's like, well, yeah, now my standards are so high. It's like, oh, if I'm going to make music with anyone, are we going to like totally mesh the first time? No. But yeah, for the two of them, it was just pretty much instant. So it didn't feel awkward at all.
Awesome. So I'm curious, when you decided to form this band, what was the deciding point of the genre of music was it just something natural, or was it going in with a preconceived, hey, we're going to do this?
I mean, we kind of just stumbled into it, right, Anne?
Yeah, I mean, Courtney brought um arrangements that, they didn't like settle fully on one specific genre. We all, as a group, we started as a cappella. So it's just like, what are some songs that are really fun to sing? And those were the type of songs that she had arranged for. And I know that I had a really big affinity for, folk and music, and so does the two of them. And so like we kind of, within realizing each other's listening tastes, we just found that kind of shifted where we went. But initially it wasn't any one specific genre. It's just like, yeah, we're just going to have fun and make music. We are all pretty much out of school now. Let's just see where this ends up. And yeah, just the rich history, and we love to tell stories, and the music that we sing really echoes that as well. So that's where we fell naturally.
Wonderful. And I'm curious if why Honey Whiskey Trio? What was the impetus about that name? I take it there's a story there.
What was that, Anne?
You take it away.
We needed a name. There's different versions to the story. One that we often say is with folk music, and with the stories, there's a lot of kind of beautiful aspects and a lot of kind of rougher, sadder aspects. So sometimes we say that's the honey and the whiskey of it. But the reality is that, like, was it Tennessee honey whiskey?
Tennessee
Like,
honey.
yeah, that had just
Yeah.
come out as a product, and the marketing tricked us, and we brought some to a rehearsal and had too much of it. And then as we were trying to come up with a name, we were like, what about this?
Yeah. It was like our third rehearsal.
Yeah.
I remember being like, I am so sorry, y'all, for doing anything that was, too much last night. And it's just like, well, you know what? Yeah.
Well, at least you got a name out.
Exactly.
So before we actually started recording, Courtney, you and I were talking, and I was curious. You said that the goal of the group was never really to make it a full-time thing. And having talked to other performers, it's like there's always that they want to hit the road, they want to tour, they want to do this. What was the thought process behind just making it more of I guess, an organic thing where you guys, like, I purely discovered you through, I think, social media, or through a recommendation of somebody else. And I'm curious why keeping it on the down low and not making it bigger thing.
I don't know if it was ever necessarily intentional or just something that as we performed more, we settled into with the balance. You know, we have a lot of musicians in our life and some do it full time and some do it part time. And the fact is it can be really hard sometimes to have your income be just doing something you deeply love. It can then make the experience of doing it not as enjoyable sometimes. You can get burned out. And the way that we do it is we don't have to fully rely on it. We all have other jobs that we do. And so most of the time when we're going on stage, we are loving every second of it. I mean, we all have bad days, we all have days where it doesn't feel great, but, we get this kind of privilege of being able to do it just for the love of it. And also then getting to do wonderful concert series like this one, where everyone is there listening. Like we don't really ever do kind of background gigs. We get to have an audience there 100% focused on us. And that feels amazing. And it allows us to travel some, and it feels like a great vacation with people we really enjoy being around. And then we go back and do our work. And so it just kind of settled into that balance. And I think it allows us to continue to kind of deeply love what we're doing.
Would you agree with that, Anne?
Yeah, 100%. I think we all really deeply love the educational aspect of music as well. And I know that I always wanted to be a teacher, and and that's another reason why the three of us work so well together, is that we all deeply want to make the education a huge part of it. So being able to find that balance of, yeah, we're musicians, we want to perform and spend time doing that, but we also want to cultivate teaching others. Being able to be teachers, it's like, well, we have a break coming up. Let's see if we can get a performance in. So the balance is there as well. So yeah, it just feels right for us.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and then with that, because we are all teachers, often when we go and perform, we'll do community workshops as well, which kind of is another aspect. We don't just do the shows. We love meeting people in the community, working with different ensembles, and that's wonderful too.
Well, I have to applaud you for that, because in all the years I've been doing this, we've booked artists where they go out on stage and it's like, you can tell they're just phoning it in. There's no passion behind it. And especially now with a lot of the tribute groups, it's like my job is to go out and sing Neil Diamond or Johnny Cash, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go home, collect a paycheck, and go home. So I think your thought process behind that is just perfect for this series, because you do have a group of people who are there, passionate subscribers, and a lot of single ticket people who are just like, it's an intimate evening of exceptional music in a small venue where you just like, you're right up close, and you get to learn more about the performers and actually hear their music, as opposed to being in a stadium where you can't hear anything. So one of the questions I always like to ask is, when the concert is over and people are going home, what do you want them to walk away with from a Honey Whiskey Trio concert?
What do you think, Anne?
Or she just threw you under the bus, Anne? I don't know.
I know. I was like, who can do it first?
I know I can start if you're still thinking. I just didn't know if you had something right there.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I want people to go home feeling like moved. I think that one of the things that music can do so well is give you like a physical response when you're in the audience. Like it can give you goosebumps, it can make you laugh, it can make you cry. And I would want them going home having experienced all of that and feeling like they got to know us a little bit. We're pretty comfortable on stage. We don't want it to feel stiff. So yeah, I want them going home happy.
Yeah, I mean, I would, say the same thing. I mean, one thing that I love that we do is, because our background was an a cappella, or is, and taking songs and being able to unify on a single kind of sound and just giving the audience an experience that like they're surrounded a little bit by just like the sparseness that is so it's so unique to music, and like you feel alone but also just so connected. And I want the audience to, yeah, to feel that physical response and to go away with thinking that they want to enjoy more music of the same kind of like enveloping kind of way. Um, like it's not just sound, it's like, ooh, like I can experience something.
I do think music definitely has that ability to move people and to, I don't know, every time I think about like an important moment of my life, there's usually a song that accompanies it, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Um, so one of the things that the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation does, besides present exceptional artists like yourselves, is we do try to encourage and mentor and give opportunities to young performers who are just starting. One of the things we do is we have South Bay's Got Talent, which we have young people, or actually people of all ages, come and they audition and they perform for a group of 6 industry people. And as a matter of fact, last year our we had the youngest was 8 years old, the oldest was 96. I kid you not.
I
He
love
was good,
this.
and he was great. He was a good singer. But as a professional and as a teacher, I guess, what words of wisdom do you have to young artists just starting out?
I would say make loud mistakes. Loud mistakes are the easiest to fix. And just to find your joy in it. Find what makes you kind of feel, I don't know, weird. Like not weird, but it's just like, if you're so concerned with how you sound, you're not going to find what makes you feel free. And so much of the longevity that I've found with myself, but also with my students, um, if you have fun with making the mistakes and just kind of cultivating the joy within you, then you're going to feel like you can continue because you're not reaching any standard of perfection. Yeah, just totally like having fun making mistakes.
I love that. I think I would add to everything that Anne said 100%. Um, listen, listen to and learn a lot of music from the past because I think that there is so much you can learn. As singers, we can learn about vocal styles, as instrumentalists about chord structure by listening to a lot of different music. And, you want to kind of develop your own identity as a performer. And I think that part of how you do that is by learning a lot of other people's music first and figuring out what kind of naturally fits with you and what doesn't. I think as musicians, I know when I was younger, I spent a long time trying to be something that I wasn't as a singer. And I think that the goal is to figure out kind of what you do best and run with that. But sometimes people jump in so quickly with new stuff, and there's so much amazing music across all genres. And I think it's our responsibility to preserve that history and learn their music I don't know. I rambled, but
No,
learn me fantastic.
I totally agree, and I think both of you are brought up exceptional points. Anne, when you mentioned the thing about making loud mistakes, was reminded of a thing I saw on YouTube from Ira Glass, where he was just saying, create art, just keep creating. It's gonna suck at first, but that's how you learn. That's how you just got to keep trying. And it's so true.
Exactly.
There's too many people don't, they're too afraid to not look cool, I guess, or I don't know what, but great, great pieces of advice. Thank you. Um, so just as a reminder, it's a Honey Whiskey Trio in the Studio Cabaret for the Torrance Cultural Arts Foundation, February 6th and 7th in the Nakano Theater. Shows at 7 p.m., doors at 6. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
Yeah.
Give me that sweet honey whiskey. Give me the sweet honey whiskey. Oh, the burn don't stop till the very last drop. Gone